got you.
This week on Kentucky Afield.
This is research designed specifically to make sure our hunting regulations are where they should be.
Biologists are in the field monitoring game species year-round. And one species that they're working on right now is the wild turkey. Next.
This thing here has probably won more bass tournaments in the last 5 years than any other lure.
There's no doubt about it.
There are a lot of pretty interesting fishing lures out there, but one that's gained popularity in recent years is the Alabama rig. Then, as a part of celebrating our 70th year on air, we're taking a look back through time and goose hunting in the 1980s. It's all next on Kentucky Afield.
Kentucky Afield. Every week, Kentucky Afield brings you features on hunting and fishing across the state.
That's my pup. I'm proud of him.
Here he comes right there. Let's get ready. Get ready.
Look at that. What a nice fish. Hey, we dug it up right there.
We did.
There he is. Ooh, a nice one, too. Boy, he's healthy.
What do we got?
That was awesome. Got the first help.
Got one big smallmouth.
Very nice.
Double point. They're in there.
There they go.
Oh, my gosh. Woo! Look at that joker. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. Whoa, this is a good one.
That's better than good, Chad.
Hello, and welcome to Kentucky Afield. I'm your host, Chad Miles. Join us as we journey the Commonwealth in search of outdoor adventure. Ask any waterfowl hunter if they've ever taken a banded bird, and they'll probably be able to tell you when and how many they've taken. Now, turkey hunters are going to get that same opportunity.
I got you.
Zach, we're actually doing something pretty unique. We're going to use several rockets and a net to catch turkeys.
Yep.
What in the world would we want to do that for?
Right, for research.
Yeah.
This is research designed specifically to make sure our hunting regulations are where they should be for sustainability of the turkey population for hunters.
Hopefully 10, 15 gobblers will come in here on the bait site. May take hours. This is a waiting game, right?
Right.
But once you shoot the net and you catch these turkeys, you're going to run out, and then what are we going to do to allow us to gather data?
I'm gonna put leg bands. The leg bands are on the birds. The birds are subject to harvest here in a couple months.
Okay.
Hunter shoots the bird, he reports it to us. This is just one sample of birds here, but we're doing this all across the state. So
You're hoping to
collectively,
ban 300, right?
yeah, that's our goal.
But you're
So that's-
specifically trying to get male birds, right?
In this case, males, yeah, because we're trying to estimate spring harvest rate. That's what we're after. So bearded hens, yeah, we would ban those too.
Okay.
We've caught a few at this site already, so if we could get another handful, that'd be great. We've got many other sites spread out. That's part of the study, is to be representative of the whole state. So
Okay.
from western Kentucky to eastern Kentucky, and us in between here, we've got multiple sites in each region, so we can spread things out a little bit.
This is going to be really cool to watch.
Yeah, it's a rodeo.
Sure. All right, well, I guess it's about time for us to get back into our locations and get ready to go.
All right, good deal.
Well, we've got all of our rockets set up. We've got our bait site set. We've tested everything. We should be good to go. Now it's just a waiting game. We've got big expectations of getting a good group of gobblers caught in the net. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. But when it happens and that bomb takes place and that net goes out, it's going to be a mad dash from everybody around to get out there and to try to hold these turkeys down, get them secured, get them banded, and get them released back in the wild. Yeah, here we go. Our first turkey. I can't tell if it's a gobbler or not. It's got a beard. Well, the turkey that came in has now made its way off all the way at the far end of the field. It didn't come to the bait, but that's okay. We need more birds to come to trigger the rockets anyway, so hopefully we get another flock of more birds that come in and make their way right there to the bait pile. It's still early, barely after 9. Well, our turkeys didn't get the message. They haven't showed up yet. We've been here for several hours. It's actually warmed up. Went from about 10 degrees to it's in the 30s now. It feels pretty good. Some cattle are moving around. Birds are flying. Just not turkeys. We got turkeys on both sides. Oh my goodness. Man, we still got 6 or 7 turkeys on the back side. Here they come. Are they gonna come in or no? Now these are all male turkeys, but some of them have got really short beards. We're gonna have a chance of catching 12 to 14 all in one shot. This is gonna be insane. Come on, turkeys. Let's go. Oh my goodness, all in the last minute. We sat there for 8 hours, 10 hours. All right, blindfolds on all the heads we can. I think we got 11 male turkeys on the ground right now. Getting these little socks on their heads, trying to settle them as best we can, and it's time to start the workup process.
It just calms them down, keeps them from freaking out so bad.
We know that they're male birds unless they're bearded hens, so they're all male birds.
Adults. I thought I saw a Jacob here.
There's a couple Jacobs in there.
Do you know which one you have?
2161.
Both legs within here. Another
He's got 2160.
Oh, he's got 2160. All right.
So you got the number, everything recorded.
2161 Jake, right?
Everything's good on that one.
We're actually doing this study in conjunction with Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, and Tennessee Tech University. And what we're trying to do is estimate harvest rates of male turkeys.
Okay.
Band number 1055.
1055.
We know from telecheck how many legally hunters harvest. What does that mean? So this is kind of a percentage thing. Plus we'll be able to look at survival of the birds.
Got him, so I'm taking his. Hold on to him a little longer.
The only way you can do that effectively is you have to disperse the number of birds you're taking across the state, because certain areas have higher hunting pressure and higher population of birds.
Different habitats, different landscapes. Kentucky's very diverse east to west. So we're doing it across the state.
Both public and private lands?
Yep, for sure.
Okay. Today we're on a private land property.
Yep.
But you also had some people today at Clay WMA, right?
That's right, yep. They caught 5 birds right before we did these. So
Okay. How many years is this project going to go on?
it's a 4-year project. This is the first one.
You can just set him down. Don't keep hanging on to him. Well, you told me to hold on him longer a while ago.
I noticed some of these are, silver and some of them are green. Tell me about the green ones.
Yeah, every 4th one is green. They are reward bands.
Oh, okay.
Purpose of the reward bands is to help us estimate harvest rate of the non-reward bands.
Gotcha.
They've done this type of work a long time in waterfowl world.
Some type of financial or prize award if whoever turns in one of these.
$75, yeah. And
$75,
we've got some really good cooperation there. We have the Kentucky Fish and Wildlife Foundation.
Okay.
Would be contacting the hunters. And the funds for that are donated by the Kentucky chapter of the National Wild Turkey Federation.
Okay.
So
okay.
multiple partners helping out.
So hey, if you're out and hunting and you come across a turkey that's got a band on it like this, make sure you report it. Get all the information back to the agency, but the turkey is theirs to keep, the band is theirs to keep, and hey,
absolutely.
I've never killed a banded turkey, have you?
Nope. There's not been many banded birds since George Wright years and years ago when turkeys were still being restored.
And if you're lucky enough to get a green one, then there's actually a financial incentive as well.
That's right.
All right. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Yes, sir.
This is the time of year Late winter and early spring, when anglers should hit the water in search of large bass using an A-rig. The A-rig, the Alabama rig, the umbrella rig, it got extremely popular 5 or 6 years ago. And now if you're tournament fisherman, you obviously know what it is because you better have one on during most parts of the year.
That is the thing about the Alabama rig is this time of year, and sometimes even in the fall, if you don't have one at least tied on, you are truly at a disadvantage. And that's not necessarily even in the state of Kentucky. That's really anywhere that you have a population of shad in the lake.
That's right. And I'll tell you, it can be intimidating because there's a lot of pieces and parts and everything has to go together to make this work.
There is. You have not just one bait, you have an umbrella rig, you have heads, you have baits, and so everything has to work together. And even then, you can't just throw it on any rod or reel. So there's a lot of different things going on that make a successful Alabama rig setup or one that's not.
This is probably the most important part of it right here. You really want to use 60 to 80 pound braid.
Yeah, 50 to 80, anywhere in there. You're gonna get this hung. It's got 5 hooks on it. I don't know about you, but me, that's a good amount of money tied up in this. I want that braid so I can make sure I can get this back.
Really, this is the first component. As you can see, it's got a way to attach it. It's got some wires. It's got little spinner blades that swim on there. This one has 5. Now, after that, you've got hooks. Obviously, with your hooks, you can have all the different sizes of hooks as well as weights as well.
As far as weights go, just from my personal experience, around here, whether you're fishing from 10 to 20 foot water, I think you've got 1/8 ounce. That seems to be about the best, is 1/8 as far as fishing it in varying water depths.
And of course, you have your swim baits. These are the 3.8s and they're ribbed. Now you're throwing one that's actually got the slick, no ribs, a smaller profile. So it's all preference.
I will say that it often is best to have different colors on that to give a fish something to isolate on that Alabama rig. And more often than not, I would also put the different colors on the bottom or even the middle, as in that's where they'll tend to bite anyways. But so yeah, vary the colors, absolutely.
And so there's no way that you don't have to put these on there any particular way, up or down or nothing. It's just you
No, that is the one thing I will say is that if you are going to vary the colors, you'll see that the Alabama rig is going to run like this to the water column. So we have some varying colors on the bottom. And there you go, that's it.
That's it. So this thing here has probably won more bass tournaments in the last 5 years than any other lure.
There's no doubt about it. Yeah.
It's probably got more second and third places too. Now, if you're just a weekend fisherman and you want to catch more fish, this is also a great technique. Just give it out there.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you are. It's a great technique, and that's one other thing. There's no really wrong way to fish it. For the most part, it's a chunk and wind. Just a nice, slow, steady retrieve is going to be the ticket.
We'll talk a little bit more about how to cast it once we get out in the water, but I think that's our next step. Let's get this boat in the water and go out there and see what we can't catch on this thing.
Oh, there's one. Smallmouth.
Smallmouth. Nice fish. And let's see what color he hit.
Which one did he hit? Oh, he hit the, well, he's got 2. We'll call it the jackal.
Yeah.
Nice, pretty smallmouth.
Very pretty fish. So Drew, what type of year do you like and what type of water conditions do you like to fish the Alabama rig the most?
Ideally, it's going to be February through April, depending on what kind of year we're having. This year, it's been kind of unseasonably warm, so we've kind of spring forwarded things forward. There's 2 things. Water temperature somewhere between 48 and 55 probably is prime for the Alabama rig. And then another thing is, we're down here at Laurel. The first thing when we got down here, we're kind of hunting some more stained water. So you don't want crystal clear water, but at the same time, you don't want mud. And this right here is a kind of nice in between. That's prime ingredients to have a really good day of fishing with Alabama rig.
Which one that one hit? Same one?
Same one as the last one.
I may have to put 10 of that same exact bait on mine. We showcased, the line and putting the rig together. Tell me a little bit about the equipment that is best for throwing this technique.
So one part is the reel. I want a reel that I'm not going to trash it by throwing an Alabama rig. So I'm going to buy a reel that can stand up to that. He's foul hooked. And the second thing is having the right rod. Whenever we're loading this up, you need a rod that, one, has a lot of power. You can throw 2 to 5 ounces, but at the same time has a tip to where I can get some accuracy with it. I can lay it softly in the water.
Well, we got about another hour before dark. The big fish ought to come up here and feed in a minute. Let's try to put a big one in the boat. What do you think?
I'm game with that.
There's one. Good one, too. Oh, God,
that's
what a largemouth.
Big fish.
Bring him this way.
Nice. Look at the belly on that thing.
Oh.
We've been out fishing around, running around and trying to find some stained water, and we thought, you know what? With this evening coming and the sun being down, maybe we can get on the main lake. Look at that belly on that fish.
It's been eating a few shad.
Yeah, it's been eating them 5 at a time, it looks like.
He got more than one of them.
That's a really good fish. So there you go. You talk about A-rig fish, this big piece of wire coming through, a big smart fish won't hit it. There you go. There's a 4-pounder. So if you're looking to catch more fish and you've never tried the Alabama rig, it's a good technique to put in your arsenal. Put that in your tackle box. Make sure you get the right gear to throw it. You might ultimately have some of the best days of fishing your entire life when the conditions are right.
If you can hit that window when the water and the weather and everything is lined up for the Alabama rig, I mean, it will show you amazing things.
Yeah. As we continue to celebrate our 70th year on the air here at Kentucky Afield, this week we're going to travel to Western Kentucky and look back over 4 decades ago at a goose hunt.
Leslie Gibson is cooking up a pre-dawn breakfast, and he's not in his own kitchen. He's in an elaborate floating goose blind. But Gip would just as soon be here as his own kitchen. He's the former state champion goose caller. Waiting patiently for breakfast, on the left of your screen, outdoors writer Ben Hall. The man sitting in the middle is 3-time world duck calling champion Mike McLemore, also a talented goose caller. And next to him is Jimmy Sherrill, the owner of the property we're about to hunt on and the builder of this immaculate goose blind. As the last biscuit was eaten, the sun rose up over this Union County lake our goose blind was floating on. In the early morning light, our decoys looked so much like the real thing they could have fooled anybody, hopefully an incoming flock of Canada geese. Young Derek Rickard searched the dawn sky. He's also a talented waterfowl caller, as is Hunter McLemore. His world champion father is bound to be a pretty good teacher. A few minutes later, the first flock of Canadas were spotted. Now an orchestra of champions would turn on the music. It would turn out to be one of those days when everything went well. A day that would live in our memories for years to come. A local television news crew joined us. Popular feature reporter Hal Wolford of WEHT-TV in Evansville tried to interview Gip Gibson when they were profoundly interrupted.
Well, I'll tell you what, you fooled those 25 or so that come over here a while ago. And
These are easy. These are a lot easier than people. Now, don't get me wrong. The geese are a lot easier to call.
Are you telling me that it's easier to fool a goose than it is a judge?
Yeah. Okay.
Uh-oh, more geese. More geese. You want to give me a deck battery real quick?
Where you at? Inside?
Inside on this thing.
How did you get started? How long you been calling? Or what else do you call?
Well, mainly ducks and geese. I do turkey hunt and sell turkey calls too, but mainly, of course, this time of year it's just ducks and geese. I started duck hunting when I was about 7 years old, and of course my dad, I hunted with him on up through till I got, to be a teenager. And primarily, I guess my dad and some of the friends that hunted with him are responsible for me being able to blow a duck call, but I got pretty proficient with it by the time I was 15, 16 years old in high school. And back then, there weren't a lot of high school kids that, that duck hunted. There was 4, 5, 6 of us, and we used to wade the bottoms, the same bottoms that I hunt now in a blind down there in a flooded field. We used to wade as teenagers, and it was one of those things. Of course, I was a lot younger then and had a lot more vim and vigor, and I'd chase the ducks. Now I try to get the ducks to come to me and hunt out of a blind, a little more relaxed hunting.
Now, when did you start competing?
It was after I got married. We moved to Nashville, Tennessee, and I went to an outdoor show up there in Great Lakes of the South Outdoor Show in Nashville, and heard a gentleman by the name of John Fox, who's now got a national syndicated television show, I think a fishing show down in Texas. And John was real good with a duck and goose call, and he put on a calling demonstration there, and it just, I don't know, something about it fascinated me, so I went down and introduced myself and to find out what kind of call he was blowing. And he was blowing a Chick Majors call made over in Stuttgart, Arkansas, and at that time, that was the most popular call that they blew in world competition. So I ordered one, and to make a long story short, got one, started practicing, and one. But just the first year I entered our state contest, I finished 4th, and of course that to me was just like winning the thing. I didn't have any expectations of even finishing in the top 4. I do think that the good Lord gave me the ability as far as duck calling to pick it up pretty easy. It's something that came pretty easy for me. I've worked hard at it and put a lot of time and effort and practice in it to get it, but just being able to call ducks and blowing a duck call hunting-wise has been real natural, for me. And this call is it's an Arkansas-style call that I make. It's a plastic call. This one's got the clear acrylic barrel with a black plastic end piece, and I also make it in a black plastic barrel with a black end piece. As I said, it's an Arkansas-style call. It's a single reed type call. Has a clear Mylar reed, and it's what I use primarily when I'm hunting. There is some people that blow them in competition. Now, I make a wooden call, a handmade wooden call that primarily was a call that I used in competition to win my world titles, and it's a hunting call also, but it's handmade, made out of foreign wood called coca-cola. Majority of them are made out of coca-cola.
Tell us a little bit about what you got.
Well, these calls, this one in particular is made out of laminated wood. It's a real hard diamond wood. Paul Drury, my partner, he makes the call. He runs all of it out. This one is African coca-cola, like Mike's called. In fact, we got the wood from Mr. McLemore because it's more durable, and we like the sound of it. Okay. These calls, they're custom calls, and we don't put out many of them. And like I say, this one like his has won the world championship. Mr. Keith McGowan, he's from Delaware. He won the world championship blowing these calls.
The next block was so high my camera couldn't focus on it. They were on their way out of this country altogether. That is, until the master callers lured them in.
Well, I suppose we got some of the best callers in the world, and I guess that we must be blinded pretty good, and everything just going great. Good place and good people.
By noon, we had taken 8 geese. It was time for me to head back to the state capitol. As I headed to shore, our champion callers sent me a parting song.
Now let's check in and see who else has been out having fun in this week's Ones That Didn't Get Away. Here we have Kyle Vincent with his first fish ever caught on Cedar Creek Lake, a nice bluegill. Congratulations. Check out this beautiful smallmouth caught on beautiful Del Hollow Lake by Matt Hovkamp. Nice fish. Here we have 11-year-old Luke Allen with a rabbit taken from Peabody WMA. Nice job. Check out this nice looking buck taken by Sabrina Laney. This is her largest buck to date, taken in Grant County. Nice job. 12-year-old Liam Halfley knows how to get out and have a good time, and that is by rabbit hunting in Marion County. Nice job. Here we have a familiar face. This here is Dalton Smith with a nice muskie caught at Green River Lake. Nice job. Here we have Price Harden with a nice smallmouth that was caught on Elkhorn Creek while fishing in January. Here we have Bella Kingray with a nice bobcat that she trapped in Webster, Kentucky. Nice job. Here we have Yukon and Dalton with some nice ducks taken on their last hunt of the year. Congratulations. Waylon Smith is holding a couple of his crappie as he caught a limit on Nolan Lake. Nice job. As waterfowl and small game hunting seasons come to a close here in Kentucky, it's a reminder to me that it's time to renew my hunting and fishing license. You can do that online at fw.ky.gov or at your local retailer. And remember, hunting and fishing on private property is a privilege. Always ask permission and thank the landowner. Until next week, I'm your host, Chad Miles, and I hope to see you in the woods or on the water.